Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, a channel to find a real China. In today's China on the World video, we want to share China's perspectives on world affairs, based on Zhao Jian's remarks on June 25, 2021. The paper asked Zhao Jian a question about the exhibition on history of the Communist Party of China. Zhao Jian replied, "Yesterday, June 24, 2021, State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi invited over 100 foreign diplomatic envoys and representatives of international organizations stationed in China to visit the exhibition on the history of the Communist Party of China, CPC. Wang Yi said that if one wants to understand China, it is good to start understanding the CPC, which also comes first in studying Chinese history. Without the CPC, the People's Republic of China would not exist, and without the leadership of the CPC, there would be no great success in building socialism with Chinese characteristics. The CPC is also a party that fights for the progress of humanity. At a new historical starting point, we will, together with the rest of the world, make ongoing efforts to build a community with a shared future for humanity." The participants listened attentively to the commentaries and frequently stopped to look carefully at the precious cultural relics, vivid pictures, and artifacts representing the century-long glorious history of the CPC. From the exhibition, they learned about China's centenary development's historical, theoretical, and practical logic. They got to know more directly and profoundly why history and Chinese people chose the CPC, the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and the independent foreign policy of peace. The envoys offered their warm congratulations on the 100th anniversary of the founding of the CPC, hailed its extraordinary achievements, and said its governing philosophy and experience in administrating the country are worth learning from. They believe that China will successfully realize its second centenary goal under its strong leadership and make new and more significant contributions to world peace and development and the progress of humanity. They also expressed their sincere wishes to strengthen exchanges and cooperation with the CPC and further develop relations with China. Earlier this month, the Foreign Ministry co-organized with relevant authorities a series of events themed Ambassadors Face-to-Face with Chinese Ministries for foreign diplomats in China and invited them to watch the stage play. These activities help deepen the understanding of the founding mission of the CPC, the secret code of CPC's success, and China's development and progress in various fields. We will continue to keep an open attitude and welcome friends from all over the world to learn more about the CPC and a real China in a multidimensional and comprehensive fashion. We will continue to create opportunities and build bridges to this end. Macau Monthly raised a question to the spokesman. It is reported that on June 24, Raymond Green, deputy head of the American Institute in Taiwan, said in a speech in Taipei that there is a fundamental change in the U.S. and Taiwan relationship, that the U.S. is the most important international backer of Taiwan. What is China's comment? Zhao Jian replied seriously, "We firmly reject the erroneous remarks by the U.S. side. There is only one China globally, and Taiwan is an inherent part of the Chinese territory. It is a fact based on history and statute, and no one or any force can change. China has constantly opposed any U.S. attempt to elevate relations in essence or engage in official interactions with Taiwan in any form. The Taiwan question is the most critical and sensitive issue between China and the U.S., and the One China principle is the political foundation of China and U.S. relations. The U.S. side should earnestly abide by the One China principle and the Three China-America joint communiques. It needs to immediately stop using the so-called Taiwan issue as a pretext for political manipulation. It must discontinue official interactions and forsake its attempt to elevate substantive relations with Taiwan, not to further damage China and U.S. relations and the peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait." China Daily asked Zhao Jian a question regarding the UN Charter Day on June 26. We noted that the Foreign Ministry held the Lanting Forum on the 50th anniversary of the restoration of the lawful seat of the People's Republic of China in the United Nations today. Foreign Minister and State Councilor Wang Yi delivered a keynote speech. What message does the Chinese side hope to send through holding this event? Zhao Jian replied, "The Charter of the United Nations was signed on June 26, 1945, and China was the first country to sign on the charter. On October 25, 1971, the 26th session of the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 2758 by an overwhelming majority. It decided to restore all the rights of the People's Republic of China in the United Nations, and it also recognized the representatives of the government of the People's Republic of China as the only legitimate representatives of China in the United Nations. It is a victory for the diplomacy of the People's Republic of China, for world justice, and the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang shared the significant efforts China has made to make the UN grow stronger at this forum. First, China has led by example in upholding international order. Second, China has assumed responsibility to safeguard world peace. Third, China has spared no effort to promote joint development. Fourth, China has made positive contributions to addressing global challenges. State Councillor Wang stressed that the international landscape is undergoing profound changes unseen in the past century. What should we do to avoid division, maintain solidarity, and conduct cooperation? The only correct answer is to uphold the international system with the United Nations at its core, and the basic norms governing international relations based on the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. China would like to work with other countries hand in hand to build an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys lasting peace, universal security, and shared prosperity. China upholds the shared values of peace, development, fairness, justice, democracy, and freedom for all humanity, continuing to build a new type of international relations featuring mutual respect, fairness and justice, and win-win cooperation for a community of shared future for humankind. Bloomberg raised a question about U.S. President Joseph Biden's statement after the closing of Apple Daily. Does the Foreign Ministry have any comments? The second question is whether you have any information on media reports that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken may meet with a Chinese official in Italy next week. Can you confirm that? Zhao Jian answered, on your first question, there is no shred of truth in the U.S. remarks. Relevant Chinese authorities have responded to this issue on many occasions. Here I would like to stress 3 points. First, Hong Kong is a society with the rule of law where everyone is equal. No individual or organization is beyond the law. The action taken by the Hong Kong police against individuals and companies suspected of endangering national security in strict accordance with law is a just move to combat crime and safeguard the rule of law and social order. We firmly support the Hong Kong government and police in fulfilling their duty following the law and all efforts to protect national security, prosperity, and stability in Hong Kong. Second, the law on safeguarding national security in the Hong Kong SAR focuses on cracking down on a handful of anti-China Hong Kong disruptors who seriously endanger national security. The law also protects the rights and freedoms enjoyed by the vast majority of Hong Kong residents under the law, including freedom of the press. Since implementing the Hong Kong-related national security law, social stability has been restored in Hong Kong. The rule of law and justice has been upheld, and the lawful rights and freedoms of Hong Kong residents and foreign citizens in Hong Kong are better protected in a safer environment. It is an undeniable fact. Those accusing China of a crackdown on freedom of the press just because a specific media outlet or its person in charge is involved in the case are either feigning ignorance or confounding right and wrong. Third, Hong Kong is a part of China. Hong Kong affairs fall entirely within China's internal affairs that no country, organization, or individual has the right to interfere. The U.S. side should respect the facts, stop using any pretext to shield the suspect in obstruction of the Hong Kong SAR government's law enforcement, and stop interfering in Hong Kong affairs and China's internal affairs in any way. On your second question, I have no information to offer you. The press conference was very long, so we break it into 2 parts, and we will upload the second part later today. Thank you so much for your time on this video. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and share them with people you know. We publish videos daily and post long videos on topics viewers are interested in once or twice a week. If you have anything you want to share with us, Please leave your comments below.